This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Dustin Ribellini in studio today, and we move to the Patriots wrapping up the season. Before we get to the pieces that are coming back, like a Josh McDaniels, who we didn't get to touch on last week. That news broke a little bit too late for us, but on the field, what do they need to do? You know, you follow them. You're obviously not a Patriots fan, but you're following them, and they clearly have some holes. What do they need to do in the draft or free agency to get back to where they're always going to have Tom Brady back,
right,
but they got some holes.
Yeah, they got to figure out the running back situation. Obviously, we know Deion Lewis is a free agent. I don't think they're going to pay him.
He's going to want some money.
I think he wants somewhere
and he
around.
deserves it.
He deserves it. He had a nice season. I think he wants like $10 million or so, and I don't think the Patriots are going to pay that.
No.
So he's going to walk. Defensive side of the ball, you know, the linebackers, you know, Dante Hightower, what's his situation?
Right. It seems like he comes back, but he doesn't last the whole season.
Right. When was the last time he played a whole season?
Right.
Not very often. In the secondary, we got to think Malcolm Butler's going to be gone.
Right.
So how do they replace him? That's a guy that played before the Super Bowl, 97.8% of your snaps. What's he going to do? And I think more for down the road, they need to figure out their backup quarterback.
Right.
They have that high pick in the second round from San Francisco. I think they're going to use it on a quarterback there because let's face it, Brian Hoyer can stand there for the next year or two while Brady's still playing. But in 3 years, when Tom Brady's gone, they got to have somebody to step in. So I think they get their quarterback of the future in this year's draft.
Yeah, and I agree with you, and I think that is part of the reason why maybe Josh McDaniels decided to come back. Maybe they made some, not promises and not guarantees about the head coaching position when Belichick leaves, but I think they also made some promises or some aspirations of drafting a quarterback and saying, hey,
right,
you can work with him. And I think he was happy to see Garoppolo get a starting job, but I think he likes working with these young quarterbacks, and I think that maybe was part of the reason. So your take on the Josh McDaniels thing, obviously, I don't know how it happened. There was talk that the Patriots just upped their offer, and he didn't really hate the Colts, but he just kind of went back to thinking this Patriots team is where I want to be. Do you think it had anything to do with the fact that they lost the Super Bowl? If they would have won, may he have said, hey, I want another Super Bowl, I'm going to take that leap. And because they lost, he felt, I'm so close, let me come back.
Yeah, I don't think maybe that was the underlying factor. I just think he liked the stability in the organization. You're going to have the leader there in Belichick and Brady for the next couple years at least. And you're going to a Colts situation that up in the air. If Andrew Luck doesn't play, we saw they're a 4-12 football team. So I think he likes the stability there. I don't think there's any written agreement that he's the next coach.
Right.
You know, I don't think he's going to coach anywhere else. I think he kind of wiped that under the bridge.
I agree with you on that.
You know, I think he's in a place where he knows his role. He's going to get tutored by Belichick, and if he does, when Belichick leaves, he's going to get an interview with the Patriots, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But I think he just likes the stability of, hey, I got a good thing going here. Maybe they said, hey, you can tutor this next guy to replace Brady, and we'll go from there.
Right, and the fact that he's going, like you said, he's going to work with Belichick more on some of the roster construction and salary cap and things like that. So it's not just, hey, you're the offensive coordinator, you're calling the plays. He's got a bigger role, so when he wants to be a head coach again or gets an opportunity, he's kind of going to be first in line. You're right, I don't think there's any guarantees. I don't think Kraft would do that, but I do think there's an assurance of, hey, you're the first in line, we'll give you an interview, and then we'll go from there. So it'll be interesting to see, but speaking of that, how long Belichick is there, Brady's there. Gronk, we heard some whisperings, and we talked about that last week, that he might not be around for too long. Of those three, where do you see them, and who leaves first, and how long do they stay?
I think it's going to be Gronkowski, honestly. And it really could be this offseason. He's a guy that, look, I mentioned this when I was on the Franklin House show last week. He hasn't just been banged up. He's had some serious injuries.
Yes, he has.
Back, elbow. Now he can't even straighten his arm. You know, he's a guy that he's smart. He's got a lot of money in the bank. He hasn't blown any of his money. All the crazy things he does, he's actually a very smart guy. And I think he's a guy that he wants to win. I don't think he wants to win as much as Brady and Belichick do.
Right, I agree.
You know, it seems like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they want to win for their legacies. Where Rob Gronkowski just has fun playing football, but he's now said I think the concussion really set him back.
I agree.
If he had a sprained ankle and he came back, that's one thing. But I think the concussion really knocked him around. He said, hey, I got to rethink about this. I'm still 28 years old with a lot of money in the bank and a future ahead of me. I want to rethink my future.
And he also has mentioned to some people that, yeah, it's a team-friendly contract, and he signed it. I don't think he's upset about that, but he does want to be the highest-paid player, and I think he's kind of saying, I don't want to get beat up, like you said, for all that. So, quickly, the NFC East, Eagles, obviously the Super Bowl champs, obviously the team to beat there. Can anyone challenge the Eagles in the NFC?
The Eagles are looking pretty good. They're assuming Carson Wentz comes back healthy. They're still the favorite to win the NFC. The Packers, anytime you have Aaron Rodgers healthy, he's got to be a guy that you got to think about. The Panthers had a nice season. The Falcons, I think, have more good football in them. The Vikings, up and coming, nice defense. But I think right now in the NFC next year, it's the Eagles and everybody else going into the season.
Right, exactly. Lots can happen. And the Rams are up and coming. But can they challenge this year, or are they still a year away? So lots to talk about in the offseason. When we come back, our final segment, we'll get to some local college basketball, Dartmouth, UVM, UNH, and also we'll make our Salt Hill Pub picks of the week. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.